Good day, good day. So if you're watching this, you're here to kind of check out what this video is all about. So this video here is to cover so far how well the season's going so far. So 2025 winter season here in Central Texas. And so this is kind of like our mid-season sit rep, as you will, right? And also to ways you can document game analysis. They're not going to cover that. So using my friend, my favorite friend, we're going to use him, um, the scoreboard. So we can use the scoreboard here or as the soccer pitch template or whatever you want to call it. And so we just go with that. So I have like my little notes here. So I can put my little readers on. So, all right. So season sit rep. So this is going to cover how we've transitioned throughout the season, and for my team, so 12U, it's a 9v9 league that we play on, and we have had progression throughout the season since the beginning. We've had players that's been absent, whether due to other schools' functions or they have other things they got going on because we have games that are scheduled in the evenings, and they have other already prior engagements, so they couldn't make it out to the games during that week or something on Saturday. So a lot of our games are scheduled on a Saturday as well. So it makes it tough for everyone to kind of show up. So every week we have every game like get kids that were in the last games or kids that weren't, and so it's just a mix. So we have a good number, 9v9. So we have to have at least 8 players to start a game, so we can play with 8. But I've had enough show up to play a game. So, and then just a few that were, missing due to the reasons why I mentioned before. So anyway, as the games progress, we had cancel games due to the weather and also due to field conditions. So that really didn't help at all. There's been like a week or two where we didn't get a chance to do anything. We don't have any more practices during the season due to scheduling as well. So our practice are when we play games. So like 2 weeks without playing, 2 weeks without practice, so it's kind of hard to really get anything going and to work on anything from the last game. So I have these videos. I sent out memos and things like that via email, and our communication app that we use here, for the parents, so they can relay the information to the kids, and hopefully that they get that information so they can kind of read up and watch the videos and kind of take these notes and work on what they need to work on for the game. So, and then like parents are busy too. They have work, or we have had issues with one of the apps that our league wants. The way they want to is like, hey, this is what we use. So a lot of the updates for the app doesn't get refreshed. So when you look at the app, you don't really see anything, and so that's one of the issues that have been brought up. And so I make it a point to have that available also in the email. So like everyone gets the email. So if they can't see the announcements or whatever on the app itself, then I drop it in the email with the link to the website where they can find us all their information. So without that said, here's the sit rep for us, right? So what has improved for us is the trust and the comfortability with each other, amongst the teammates. So they're starting to trust, their teammates. They're passing the ball. They're trusting in themselves and being comfortable being where they're supposed to be at, based off their positions and responsibility. They're communicating more. That makes me, so happy. It's like I hear them talking to each other. I was like, hey, pass the ball or get open, doing this or whatever. A lot of communication from the captains. That's awesome. I mentioned confidence, and um, most importantly, they're playing for fun. So I hear them playing, yeah, well, despite what the results were, they had fun. So we had fun playing. They got to run around and just have fun. So that's the most important thing, especially in this league. It's about having fun first and foremost, right? And everything else is secondary because this is what we plan. This is just a um, it's a developmental league, right? So you're supposed to have fun while you're developing these skills and everything, and learning the game a bit better in a team environment, right? And then, of course, with all that above, everything I just mentioned, the results are the results will be the byproduct, right? So when you put all that together, you get positive results, and we saw some positive results in the last two games. We have a full schedule ahead of us, and like 3 days full of games. Those were made up games for the canceled one, so we have three games that we're playing at the end of the week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, scratch that. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we have games that we're playing, um, resulting from those canceled games. So hopefully we're gonna put all that we've learned into the next game, take what we have from that into the next game after that. And so because they're back to back, everything's fresh, everything fresh, and hopefully the same players will, despite I guess depending on, I think we have like a game, some kids aren't able to make it, but hopefully it's so fresh that they can remember from the. It's easier to remember when it's like the next day, So when it's been 2 weeks, it's hard to remember um, what you did, what happened in the last game and things, and you kind of forget. And it's like, oh yeah. So again, this is a developmental league, and the important thing is having fun and to try to keep up with the information that's passed down to you. So that's like the challenge there, right? Because I don't see them as often as the schedule dictates, right? We have a schedule, and because there's no practices anymore for the rest of the season, I have to rely on the parents doing helping me out and relaying that information that I spread to them. Uh, so that's that. Now I'm going to cover the documenting and game analysis. So I don't know how many coaches or people are doing this, but if you're trying to do something like that and you're kind of curious and you want to start doing something like that to help your team, and this is what has helped me. So again, this video may not be for everybody. You may have better ways to do certain things, and that's totally fine. But this is mostly for my team and um, how I kind of do what I do, and kind of helps me plan things. So for me, because of the scheduling issues that we have. I wouldn't say issues because of scheduling due to the time, right? Time restraints and availability for the fields, right? I have to find different ways to do certain things to pass them, to get this information out, and hopefully the retention is there. So I started to take Noah last season. I took notes on the index card, right? In the games, I'll take notes of who scored, the goals blocked, like basic things. And I try to remember what we did that caused certain scenarios, right? That caused certain plays to happen. This season, I was like, okay, cool. I need to pay attention to the game because if you're always writing stuff down, you're gonna miss out on certain things. You got to pay attention to the action, who's tired. Like you're subbing players in, subbing players out, making changes, you're making adjustments. You communicate to your team, hey, you see what they're doing. You got to make sure that that person there is not doing this when you get out on the pitch, when you got on the soccer field, right? Um, so I had the idea. So you know what, I can use a headset or whatnot. I can just use like recorders. So what I started using was a wireless headset. You can use any type as long as it can pick up your voice and audio. That's all that matters. I picked up a, a wireless headset. This is a bone density headset that goes over your ears, And the reason I picked this because I also work out, so I needed a new pair of headphones anyway. And so for me, this is multi-purpose. It's an investment that I'll be using even after the soccer season. So when I'm working, I'm doing personal things like washing my car, doing the lawn, the housework, I'm at the gym, I can use these, right? So a multi-purpose, you don't have to get one of these. You can use the earbuds, as long as if it can pick up your audio, that's great. They have like the wireless USB or Bluetooth mics. They work that people use to stream, the streamers use. So anything that can pick up your voice. So when you're playing, you can have it record. So also, what goes along with that, you have to have some type of way to record, right? So a recording app, there's most phone have a voice recorder app installed or pre-installed, and you can download one. That if you want better quality, but make sure that you test them out first, right? Test them out like how it captures your voice, audio, background noises. You don't want any disturbance. You don't want any interruption or anything like that. Also, read the reviews. A lot of poor reviews. Oh, this is hard to. When I pause, I get an ad that pops up, and then I try to continue recording. I had to wait for the ad, and then you miss out on certain things. So if you are in the middle of a game and you're taking notes, you're taking notes, right? And then you pause because there's a halftime, whatever, pause, and you try to continue, and there's an ad that gets kind of annoying, and you'll miss out on certain things. Especially if you're trying to take um, notes for the game, you don't want any interruption, or you don't want to miss out on anything. So make sure you test out the the apps that you use, and test out your headset. Make sure that it's picking up your audio, right? So have on my notes is taking notes. So you're recording, so that's taking notes, right? Um, Another thing, use like a template. You can use this online soccer template, or you use a paper template to where you can kind of use the little tools they have here, and you can kind of. Oh, I gotta redo this because my app. Oh, I actually had to reset my. I had to reset my PC because this thing crashed. It wasn't the last time I had issues. I thought it was because of the game I was trying to capture. So it wasn't a game. So I think it's XSplit itself, and I have to update the latest version. But anyway, um, either a paper template or this template where you can take notes. You can use it like, okay, well, remember when this person was here and you're here, we gathered too closely, as a way to kind of illustrate um, what happened in game. So this is what I use a lot. It kind of helps me. It helps the other players. I show my son and say, hey, remember this is what they're using. They had, maybe they had four defenders. Get out of here. Maybe they had four defenders, right? And I say, hey, you remember, they had the defenders stacked like this, and then they had the midfielders. Maybe they had three midfielders and one striker. So I would use this to kind of help uh, reconstruct the game, right? So, and then it's kind of like, hey, this is what happened. You are here. This is, and I use that as a tool to help me when uh, going over the, analysis, right? Kind of over analysis from that game, and then I make adjustments. So that's the next thing. So you want to use that to help you make adjustments for the next game. And then after you make adjustments, you communicate that to the team. Hopefully the parents get that to the players. Again, because I don't see them get to the next game. So I like to have them show up 30, 20 minutes earlier, so I can kind of go over these notes that I've taken and say, hey, remember, this is what happened, and kind of give them like, this is what we're gonna do. This is the game plan. This is what we're switching up, right? Um, because I don't really get that FaceTime from that week until the next game. So this is what I have to do, and then you go over that, right? And then we execute the game, and then you observe, you observe the results from those changes, then you take notes, and then you see observe the results, right? Um, Take notes, make adjustment, rinse, and repeat. So that's how I document the game analysis. Is I use a recording app with a wireless headset, so that way I don't have to worry about carrying a clipboard or extra index card, pens that will leak, pencil that break. I don't have to worry about all of that. All I have to do is click on a button to record, or on the phone I'll just click record and record. And sometimes I just let it record throughout the whole game, and you can go back and listen through. And these these are shocks, right? These are shocks. I got these at Best Buy, and they pick up everything. So I thought it was just pick up my voice, but they picked up the whole game. They pick up the parents. You can hear the crowd. You can hear the coach yelling to the players. You can hear the referee. It's great. So I use that. I listen in. So okay, there's there when we were doing this, and I'm hearing myself speaking on the on the uh, on the voice, right? On the audio. I hear myself say one thing, and I can hear the coach telling their kids one thing, and then so I'm making the note on here. Okay, well, I was talking about doing this, and then he had their players do that or whatever, So it's been very helpful for me. So hopefully that could help you. Again, you don't have to. This is just something that I found useful um, for me. So maybe that can help you out. Maybe it can help out, your team. And if you're a player, um, you know, that's great. Like you can have your parents, do the same thing. Hey, mom, dad, can you record my match? So um, they can. Film was one thing, but I think commentary provides better information, right? So you can see certain things, but then because of the view they're playing on the sideline, they can't get everything, right? Kids are in the way, so they're not going to get the best view. So I think if they use like a voice recorder, they can commentate what's going on in the game. Okay, well, that blue player number 7 from the blue team did this, and then he got flagged for this because whatever, and then Vanessa from our team, she's just doing this, so you need to talk to her that she's always, here, and she needs to get wide open, so it kind of helps. It might help you out. But that's all I have. Hopefully, this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace. Well, I got it wrong thing.